You are listening to a Runaway Network podcast from runawaynetwork.com.
Hi, this is Michelle from Punk Horror Press. You know those big rubber bones for dogs? The ones that you can fill up with a scoop of delicious peanut butter that your Labrador will spend all day trying to lick out? Well, we've got that in a story form for you. It's an excerpt from Shrink, an upcoming novel by Cari Beltane, read by Cari herself. I've listened to this about 12 times now, and on each listen I get a little more delicious flavor out of this bizarro chew toy. We think you'll lick it too. Cari has a collection of bizarro poetry and prose coming out soon from Punk Horror Press. We're all looking forward to it. So enjoy!
I'm Cari Beltane, and I'm about to read an excerpt from the novel that I'm writing entitled Shrink. Zebra's house in the rusty wall. It was 78 pages of hell, each room colored with edible crayon striped with selective wellness, alternating colors of stained issues. Repress-o-matic. She'd fabricated the walls in here herself, the rust from nighty-night pangs rekindled in drip-amation. Zebra had created for her and them all a salty, rust-covered sanctuary in which she felt able to crawl on all four knees when necessary. Necessities of this phylum specialized within plastic limbs, detachable and rigid, aqua-style. They know how to swim. Sometimes when the knife went down, almost of its own volition, she gagged and became soggy dizzy. A wimpy escape occurred on this level, gurgles of streaming starches and fats found on labels inside safely locked glass cabinets. It represented her see-through fears. Her most coveted memories were often stored to perfection in the tiny simulated wood-grained enclosure of the backed-up toilet. Guesting not usually a strength, she never kept clean towels or petroleum. Shelved in one sickly bright fabricated corner was Zebra's famous collection of pink objects, barely a shade darker than the foamy insulation shag of William's docked, shady chamber. These shapes of chunky collectibles she stacked neatly according to size, animation, chronological styling, or representation of wounds. The victim effigies rested in peace upon the lower of 3 jutting black boards, and Zebra, hee-haw, had a delicious share of these naughty objects larger and brighter than the others. The shelf of her ego and pride, wishes, triumphs, historical escape, mechanistic display. The 42-watt bulb that hung limply by a membrane of cord allowed details to erupt, voluptuous color, and its mental penetration was instinctual. On one end left, a candy eyeball from shitty 13-year summer-time fuck-not joyride he'd given it to her from the institutional box-like dispenser. 25 cents for candy eyes or lips, but you couldn't choose which one would come out. All-night food place, raise some goddamn money for diabetes already. Buy our stupid body part-looking sugar cubes, that's it. People without sugar problems can consume, for a low price, the chemical pretties that would kill a diabetic heartworm in 3 seconds. Fucking inflation, he said, as Dork Boy inserted the quarter. Bum lay of a fucking 2-week binge on the boring train. Zebra's memory of this was thinly insured by the object that stared at her bloodshot and dusty from the third shelf. Silly nonchalantitudes for her, but oh, how tormented that boy had been after 10 to 14 days of her continual emotional battering of him. She simply sought balance, since puking and throbbing and fucking disco didn't do it for her anymore. Maybe sex and dope with a willing corpse of a male cookie would give her weight. His candy lips were devoured and spit out within 40 minutes, and the walk to Zebra's house on that 13th night of delightful, boring toydom would stab through his mind vividly. Pink. A long time after. 2 strawberry yoo-hoo caps dwelled atop the half-burned pink, faded from sunlight, fruit punch votive candle. Both her then friend, now dead, had given her prior to Zebra's 16th birthday, that shit-driven horror night Zebra needed to become more acquainted with, murder, destruction, on levels no one could really ever quite endure unless bribed. Parties never last, but when you're 16, you believe they can, until the fucking keg or needles or something runs out, and you get into a goddamn blue car named and drive into a tree and see your best friend's arm lying there next to and her neck invaded by windshield glass, bisected. The bottle caps, the candle, the arm, the neck, no more voice or talks or even the shitty-ass gossip they shared at stinky dog practice after last class of the day, molecular their connection, dripping in fluids, their parting. Triple the dosage and still alive, the sauces of their wounds mingled in puddles on the couch cushions, gray corduroy rough around flanked edges, lined in silhouette with salted razor blades, a tribute to doubtful onlookers. Salivating to sick room puncturing memories, dried viscera, cum and feces, a locked door, destination. Delicate pea dipped, drowned. Zebra's monologue. Direct me to your favorite porn site, O master of oppression, doing it with the dogs and loving the aftermath. A bestial rape of delectable proportions. Set 'em up, cram it in, they cannot protest, these easy fucks. Lick 'em, stick 'em, the dicked ones tell it best. She suddenly had unintended motives, compelled like throwing knives at passers-by, and she felt no exact remorse, only slick, laminated pleasures in these moments, cravings to pursue the homicide within her deepest spirited moments like these, the pools of blood collected in vials on that shelf. Long black stacks of victims in many imaginary vaults. Duct tape will repair certain wounds, but not the ones William dished out. Threats were not often taken into the dark closets. Rejected. Soldier Jack, mottled with a fake brand of charm, doesn't melt very well in the unlit oven of wart-ridden hole. The entry stings, and at the end of her cylindrical torso comes out acid-burned. Cleanliness the price of soul-bashing, strong detergent, deterrent, differing opinions set us apart. Do not anticept it. It is already sterile. Picked to pieces, the cure is fatal. Her skin scrubbed, ready for peeling, prickly as drug-induced vomiting. 24-karat view of the world till she had her left leg ripped off at hip socket. Someone's salty, rough tongue still down her throat, sitting at the bar on corner 9. Femur exposed. Maybe bright purple cabbage would keep fear away, maybe not. The tongue rapist of pain delightfully tugging at her severed leggy membranes. Choke me till I turn blue, she pleads. It feels so good to be so close to that violence. He does, and it doesn't. The monster comes out to strum cardiac and jugular pleasantries only at bedtime. 2 or 3 legs wilted and spread like toast and bread. The 10th month brings much talk of death. Where did all the unicorns go? Became dolphins, I think, and the end nears like people and songs about running away from my past. This comes at a sooner or later time. Should I speak or see when my power forgets me? All the time she runs away and hides from imaginary prey. Tattoo, peels, apple pus crotch, and teeth to chew. Chew them up, crunchy, like angels.
As always, Punk Horror Podcasts are brought to you under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 2.5T. That means you're free to share it as long as you say you got it from Punk Horror, you're not selling it, and you don't make a derivative work from it. Punk Horror is also pleased to announce that they have joined the Runaway Podcast Network, which includes such podcasts as Killing Time, the Sci-Fi Traveling Roadshow, and Paul Levinson's show. Please check their podcasts out, and you can find out more about them from the ads that I'm going to play right after this. Until next time, this is Punk Horror Podcasts.
There were those who thought the dawn of the second space age would unite humanity in a common cause. They were wrong. The phantoms that haunt us today will haunt us tomorrow. War, corruption, poverty, injustice. But there is always hope.
Silent Universe.
With a full cast of voice actors, sound effects, and music, it's like prime-time drama for your ears. Subscribe now at www.silentuniverse.com.
And now it's time for the greatest podcast on earth.
Well, actually, you just reached the Sci-Fi Traveling Roadshow. Hi, this is Maggie Bonham with Hegel the Black Dragon.